Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Connor Homestead. I'm excited. I checked on the plants that I put out in the greenhouse yesterday, and they are looking really happy. So I also thought this was a great time to come over and walk to the food forest and take a look at our trees. Now forgive me because I cannot remember which trees are which over here, but never fear, I have it written down on my little planning guide. But I am seeing a couple of new buds here on this tree. What are you, spider? See that spider? But I'm gonna come in and spray with some dormant tree spray to kill anything that has overwintered. But look at these beautiful buds on here. I think this little one is our sweet bay magnolia, and I'm trying to remember what I flanked it with. I flanked it with two, are they plums? I don't know, but anyway, look at that bud. And I think over here is probably my witch hazel. And what I'm pleased to also see is that what I dug out in these areas, so we see our weeds, or in this case, this is henbit. What we don't, want, we see it growing up over here from what I didn't dig out. But what I did dig out, we're seeing very little weed pressure coming through that. So I dug it out and mulched it. Moving over here, this is one of the original apples that was over here that I replanted. I think it was out here already, or it was in the greenhouse, and needs some attention. It definitely needs some pruning. Ideally, this branch should go, but I'm not going to do any pruning since we just put these out here. We're going to give them one full season and start pruning in the winter. This is another sweet bay magnolia. Here's one of those original apples that was out here still doing its lean. I couldn't figure out if it was dead or alive, but then it seemed to be alive. It's got some pliability to it. It's gonna need some help standing up though. We'll fix that. Here's another of our original apples that we had out here. And again, I have them labeled on my map. I don't see any budding activity. Oh, look at you. You've got a leaf. Hello, leaf. Yes. And you're, oh, look at all this. Oh, wow. Yay. This is great because I don't think these trees ever leafed out and certainly didn't bloom. But, and this is one of our original apple trees that we put out here a couple of years ago. So this is really exciting. Yay. This is going to be great. All right, and then walking over this way, this is a dilapidated chicken coop that we are going to get torn down and rebuild into an animal condominium that will be for chickens and goats at some point. Here's another sweet bay magnolia. It really is kind of in the way of where we want to put a road from, the food forest to the greenhouse. I wasn't thinking when I put it here, there is enough space to go around it. I didn't want to dig it up. We'll see what it does, if it does anything. And then over here, I don't know what you are. You are probably also another kind of apple tree. One of our original ones. I think this one was hanging out in the greenhouse. Not seeing any buds on it yet. Let's see if I can read the tag. This is a Granny Smith. All right, so this is a Granny Smith, meaning those over there, we'd have another Granny Smith. There's an Arkansas Black over there, and there should be a Golden Delicious. Over here, I think this is where I have our 2 Fuyu persimmons. Don't know if you can see that yet. Our 2 Fuyu persimmons flanking a Sweet Bay Magnolia. And it's hard to see because they're still very young trees. So they're very thin. But this is the food forest. And I want to say this is what a 3-year food forest looks like that has gone through periods of trial and error. And so what this represents is some of the trees have been here for 3 years and barely survived, but they did survive because we didn't properly prepare the site for them. But I came back in at the end of last year and really prepared the site for these trees and added more trees. And by preparing the site, I mean excavating out the grass and unwanted material, planting the trees properly, and then putting a thick layer of wood chips and mulch to help protect them. So that's what we did this year. And we've got, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trees out here. We're going to add blueberry bushes that we have. We have some blackberries. We've got a couple of pawpaw trees that we've purchased. So we've got some more trees and fruit bushes that we're going to add out here starting next week. But again, you know, I know there are lots of videos out there on here's what our food forest looks like after 1 year and it's great, or 2 years or 3 years, but it doesn't all go that way. There is a bit of a learning curve here, and I really like that ours represents that, where you see some of the trees that have been out there from, 3 years ago to the new ones and what we're planting new each and every year. And I think certainly by next year and the year after, year 4 and 5, we're really going to see the landscape look more developed and mature and really just kind of fleshed out in some beautiful ways. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this tour of our permaculture food forest on Connor Homestead.